Good afternoon. It's Erev Parshas Boy. You know the story about the two guys that met at the door of their psychiatrist's office, and one asks the other, "Are you coming or are you going?" In response, "If I knew if I was coming or going, I wouldn't be here." Boy ol paray, the opening phrase of this week's Torah portion. The word boy, lavo, means to come. Yet the context is very much one of going. Go and talk to Pharaoh. So the question is raised and examined by our rabbis as to why does God use the phrase "come to Pharaoh," and why is that chosen to be the title and the name of this week's Torah portion? One of the answers that's given is that what God is implying to Moshe is that even though you're going, we're going together. I'm coming with you. Like that story about the guy that dreamt that he was walking along the beach with God, and they were seeing various scenes flashing from his life, and in each scene he noticed two sets of footprints in the sand. One belonged to him, the other to God. And the last scene of his life flashed before him. He looked back at the footprints in the sand, and he said, noticed that many times along the path of his life there had only been one set of footprints. And he also noticed that it happened at those points that were the lowest and saddest moments in his life. And he turned to God and he said, God, you once said that you'd be with me. But I noticed that during the most troublesome times in my life, there's only one set of footprints. I don't understand why, when I needed you most, would you leave me? To which God replied, my precious child, I love you and I would never leave you. And during the times of trial and suffering, when you see only one set of footprints, that's when I was carrying you. So there's a sense that Hashem is giving encouragement to Moshe. Go ahead and go to Pharaoh. I'm coming with you. I'll be there to support you. This isn't the first time that Moshe is meeting Pharaoh. In fact, it's not even the first time that the word boy is used in this context. Why is this name given to this week's Torah portion specifically? What was the major intimidation that's happening now that needs this major encouragement of God explicitly or implicitly saying, I'm going to come with you? So I would suggest that at this point in the game, we're down to the last three plagues. Locusts, darkness, makas bechoros, the killing of the firstborn. By now, even Pharaoh's servants are telling Pharaoh that enough's enough, that the cost to the Egyptian economy isn't worth keeping these Jews here. Let them have their 3-day-long weekend. I would suggest to you that what's happening now is that as we come close to the end of the exile, there is a fear that's beginning to build up that stems from imminent success. I know I'm projecting, but for us procrastinators, the scariest scenario in the world is actually completing an assignment or a project. One's whole being can become so invested in the having to do something that once it's actually done, it's like, now what? Who am I going to be now? The point is that actually confronting one's fears is difficult. And even though it's less scary than continuing and entertaining them, and Hashem is saying to Moshe over here, do it, you'll still continue to exist. I think that's the point of what God was trying to convey to Moshe. Don't be afraid of succeeding. Come, I'm still with you. And as you approach success and achieve success, I'll continue to be with you. And together we'll achieve miraculous heights of accomplishment never before experienced or even imagined. Come, Bo, allow yourself to grow and succeed. Yes, with success comes added responsibility. Yes, with success comes added trials and tribulations. But I created you, God's saying. I positioned you in the circumstances you find yourself in. Together, we can do it. This is the true redemption. Redemption from the slavery to the past, the redemption from the slavery to preconceived self-images, the comfort zones of identity. How many ways do we each have to grow, but are afraid of becoming all that we can be? May we all take heart from this week's Torah portion the messages of God's presence in our lives and the messages of success that's implicit, imminent, and that Hashem is there to help it happen. And we should all succeed in our own personal redemption situations, growing to become better Jews, better people, better parents, better siblings, better spouses, better people, better whatever it is that we do, until collectively we're able to achieve the ultimate redemption. The coming Mashiach should happen soon. It should happen now. Good Shabbos.